Ladies and gentlemen, as you're all aware, Wuthering Waves is approaching its literal first year anniversary very soon. The game actually launched on May 22nd of 2024, and at the time of recording this vid, it's May 20th. 2025. And so with that, I thought a great video for us to look at is one featuring the character, the Resonator, that many consider the worst in the game. The diabolical fall off of Calcharo. And this is the thing. We've actually made a significant amount of content about this guy and about how he's trash, about how he's doo-doo water, about how he is so unusable compared to other members of the cast. And here's the proof. We have this video from 10 months ago talking about the massive problems in his kit. He still hasn't received any changes, by the way. Kuro just retired Calcharo. And then we have like a 2.0 update over here about how he got buffed, but nobody still uses it. I'm excited to see if anything has actually changed in those 10 months on a bit of a look back. And we got Blazion over here. He's been creating some good content for Wuthering Waves. And so we're going to go ahead and give him some support. Let's see what his thoughts are on the matter. Okay. All right. This is such a throwback, bro. Y'all remember this shit? This was like the coolest thing ever in 1.0.
Calcharo, Casserole, Calculator, Calibrator, Carlos, you name it. Not even Kuro Games knows who he is. We never seen him on a main.
Well, actually, he actually showed up in the Cubic event. And, even though we had no idea who the fuck he was, he knew who we were. So, you're wrong.
Main quest has no companion story, and his girlfriend shit on him with a male K-pop idol. And the only time we see him is on the anniversary celebration when he gets to hold the maracas. Guess
that was like the funniest meme ever. Was like Calcharo literally getting his girl stolen by Zhang Liao, because without a doubt, Yinlin was his best in slot partner. But I'm gonna be real here. Low key, Yinlin got fucked too. Nobody plays Yinlin anymore either. I would actually say, out of all the characters that released at the start of the game, it's like Yinlin and Calcharo are probably considered some of the worst ones in terms of like their fall off. Yinlin, without a doubt, I think is the least popular limited character in the game currently. Just because her gameplay feels like so shit, bro. She's one of the worst feeling units to use in the game, without a doubt.
his name is Carlos after all. But how exactly did Calcharo fail so hard?
Even worse than Rosia, I'm gonna be entirely honest with you guys. Doing a Yinlin rotation makes me feel like I am dragging my balls through glass. Like, when I enter the field with Yinlin, I'm like, what am I doing, bro? I'm like sitting over here, like twirling around with like heavy attacks, generating like 2 concerto per spin. Like, it's just like half the time I'm playing her, I'm just like, dude, she feels so fucking bad. It's unbelievable. And none of her abilities generate concerto. And the only time she feels usable is in AoE content, because she generates more concerto the more enemies there are. But yeah, in the TOA, I'm just like, dude, this character feels fake. She feels like a standard unit.
That is the question we'll answer in this video. Kakarot in 1.0 was an amazing unit for a lot of reasons. At the start of the version,
Nah, he was bad. He was bad at 1.0 too. Let's. Nah, he's always been bad. Let's not be a history revisionist here, buddy. Let's take off the rose-tinted goggles for a second. Yeah, no, he was shit in 1.0. I got the proof over here. You know how your character menu, it lists all the characters by their level. And so the higher leveled ones will be at the top, right? You see everyone over here is level 90. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, you want to see where my Calcharo is? He's below fucking Jan Xin. He's below... Oh, he's right here. He's level 70. He's been level 70. This is skill tree. I gave up on this mother. I didn't even unlock his second inherent ability because he's so ass. I tried taking him into like the experimental zone in the TOA, the one before like the resetting hazard one. He felt like dog shit to play, and I was just like, get this dude off my fucking account. I was wondering if you could get a refund on the skill mats you spent on him. And let's be real here. The skill mats I spent on him It's like a day worth of weight plates, but I still wanted to refund it because of how shit he felt to play.
Launch, players didn't have optimized builds. Sephiroth, being an electro unit, took advantage of the infamous...
What sort of diabolical crit ratio is this on a level 60 unit, bro? What, 65? 300? No, he just put Zhangli Yao's echoes on him. Fuck him.
Took advantage of the infamous 44111 echo setup in the...
What? Wait, people did this? No way. Bro was playing a different game than me.
form of Tempest Mephis and Thundering Mephis for the Void Thunders.
Bro was playing a different game than I was. It was budget. You call it budget, I call it welfare.
Sonata set. Surely it didn't outclass the 43311 Echo setup when fully built, but since it was the beginning of version 1.0, no player had the stats to do so, which is why the great alternative helped in the beginning. Cappuccino also got the option to either use the 5-star Broadblade Lustrous Razor from the standard beta or...
So bad. If you pulled Lustrous Razor, I'm not gonna lie, it's literally worse than getting a refinement on Emerald of Genesis. It's worse than getting a refinement on Static Mist. This thing is not worth the experience, materials, and credits it takes to level up. Straight up, it's not.
Or level 45 Union rank reward. Now just imagine getting a free 5-star weapon just by leveling up. Or Verdant Summit, the 5-star limited weapon of Jian, as a crit damage statistic.
Yep.
As for team comps, he also got really good sub DPS characters in the form of Sanhua to buff Cappuccino's basic attacks, which also affects his basic attacks in his Resonance Liberation form. And
Yep.
also his girlfriend and premium team option, Yinlin.
This is the thing. I feel like Sanhua is actually just a better support for Calcharo than Yinlin is. Because Yinlin just takes too fucking long to do anything. In the time it takes you to do like 3 rotations with Yinlin, I feel like you can just do 4 with Sanhua, and it's stronger.
To buff his electro damage and Resonance Liberation damage. And because an American guy told me that I didn't bring glue to my previous video,
I'm American. I am American, but I feel like that label should be saved for somebody that's like, I don't know, looks slightly different from me.
we're also going to show everybody the free cycles of patch 1.0 TOA. On the first TOA cycle, Chicago got massive buffs on the Echoing Tower, destroying everything on his path,
That was actually for Yinlin.
including a certain free-headed turkey. Second TOA cycle, he still had the same buffs for the same tower. Coming back to the free-headed turkey once again for the buy one get two special promotion. And on the third cycle, even if catered to Yinlin, he could still be used on the Resonant Tower, still getting a 30% electro damage bonus boost.
This is the thing. I'm gonna be entirely honest with you. Nobody was actually clearing the hazard zone of the tower in 1.0. Unless you were like wailing and like resin or like wave plate refreshing for mats. Because you had at max level like 70 or like level 80 units. And you just straight up were not clearing this content. Like, let's be honest here. I'm pretty sure this is like a big whaling account.
These massive boosts on all cycles at launch gave
Never mind, it's Wallenstein's.
Calcharo the S tier rank on launch, making him skilled standard
Wallenstein's whales with his time. So yeah, he's still a whale.
unit that required mastery of its kit in order to be greatly effective, a double-edged sword and foreshadowing of what's to come in the future. In 1.1, Charcoal didn't get as much love in TOA. A specific Changli Encore team was being way more valuable than himself. Only
The Encore team was better than the Changli Encore team. Okay, it was easier to clear with Encore Sanhua than it was to clear with Encore Changli. Because let's still be honest here, guys. Encore Sanhua is better than Encore Changli.
getting a 30% electro damage boost on the first cycle Resonant Tower. Unlike Encore, who got herself a new companion and got buffs on both Echoing Towers of both second and third cycle, and also the possibility
Yep. I'm still gonna say it to this day. People pulled Changli, pulled her Sig, took her to the TOA, couldn't clear, and they're like, fuck this game. I'm gonna be real with you guys. Because I don't think anyone was actually clearing with her. I don't think anyone was clearing with her, bro. I pulled her, and I was just like, nah, this ain't happening, bro. I'm using my Jian team. It had the fusion buff. I was using my Jian team instead. Or I had Changli. I also had Encore. And I was just like, get Changli the fuck off my team. I'm gonna use Encore and I'm gonna use Sanhua instead. And the clear was easier.
to use the String Master. And also, she was much easier to play, making him drop lower than Encore due to the complexity of his kit. and close to none TOA boost.
This is like a great history lesson. I'm gonna be honest. This is nostalgic. This is a great video to talk about and like watch during the anniversary. It's such a good little like look back. It's like a time capsule when it comes to this game.
Now, this is the part of the Blazion's video that even if we all disagree on the video itself, we can all at least agree on the fact that this unit ruined it.
I mean, this is the thing. I'm 99% sure Zhang Liao was just released because everyone was just like, holy shit, Calcharo is such a bad fucking unit. He feels so awful to play. I'm out here canceling death messengers on accident so I don't die, and now my DPS has been cut in half. And then Zhang Liao just comes in and he just has the same exact kit. Build up 5 Forte, unleash nuke. Except it's easier to play. It has like triple the survivability, quadruple the AoE, and 50% and like 7 times the style.
Calcharo's existence. 1.2 marks the decline of Cockroach. Not because of this patch's TOA, because it was in favor of him, but because of the unfair release of Zhang Liao, a limited 5-star electro DPS that accomplishes exactly what Cockroach does in a less complex way.
Yep.
Now, obviously...
So, this is the thing, and this is it. This is a truth of the matter. Calcharo, when played at, like, a disgusting CN hyper-optimized level, will actually do more damage than Zhang Liao, but the conditions required to reach that higher DPS, it's like a Maggie spreadsheet, in that nobody's actually going to do that in actual gameplay. And so it's just merely a theoretical ceiling. And so most people don't even think about it. They never factor it into their actual gameplay decisions.
In this patch, an argument can still be made to still say that Cockroach deserves the S tier due to gaining so many electro buffs on the Echoing Tower on the first and second cycle.
Nobody was using him. Let's be real here. He might have been a S tier for all the buffs, but nobody was using that motherfucker.
And getting the same boost on Resonant Tower on the third cycle. But keep in mind that what Cockroach does, the new boy in town does it effortless. Making a quick swap team with Zhang Liao does it well. Having a girlfriend? Too bad. She got the K-pop fever and cheated on you with an idol.
True, but this is the thing. I still think nobody's using Yinlin anymore, bro. I feel like most people are using Zhang Liao with, like, other supports nowadays. Because, like I mentioned before, you can ask anybody that's been playing since 1.0, Yinlin is one of the worst feeling units in the game.
Even if we want to say that Calcharo earns S tier on this version, even Gian Mortefi with no buffs can accomplish more in an easier combat rotation. Yinlin not only can be with her new boyfriend, but she also provides coordinated attacks, which also pair with Jinxi. And Zhang Liao not only is paired with Yinlin, but he can also quick swap with Shangli. It's hard to put Calcharo on S tier like other electro units because simply putting, brother got crapped, not power crapped, gameplay crapped. Every team comp, and I mean it, every single team comp, what Calcharo does, Zhang Liao does it better.
They need to release like a leap for Yinlin. I remember when 1.0 released, and everyone was like,
Yinlin's gonna be future-proof, guys. Oh, she's such a better pick than Gian. Yeah, you should just skip Gian and pull Yinlin instead.
And like fast forward to now, bro. Gian's better. Straight up, guys, Gian is better.
So when Zhang Liao stops being favorable and becomes an A-tier unit, this guy drops further. It's high risk, low reward for the similar damage output, and that will only be more evident on future versions of the game. 1.3 Calculator got one small boost only on the Echoing Tower of the third cycle. But oh, did you see that? Resonance Liberation damage bonus? I guess someone likes these buffs more than him. I guess we can finally say that performance-wise, gameplay craft-wise, and with no boosts, Calcharo is finally on A-tier list. In 1.4, the same nightmare all over again on the third cycle's Echoing Tower. He can't keep getting away with this, can he? In 2.0, the arrival of Carlotta, and even further boosts for Camille's damage, with now a premium sub DPS in the name of Rocha. Cappuccino sadly is lingering on bottom of A tier with no specific niche.
I feel like at this point, bro, when Camellia and Shorekeeper released, he's just at the bottom. I know we're using this game 8 tier list over here, and he's still showing up pretty decently. Bro, why Verina's an A on this list? Or I don't even know if this is game 8. I don't even know what the fuck this is. Maybe Verina's an A tier right now when she's still S. Jeja is in B. Sanhwa's an A too. Or yeah, Jeja's an A. I just think this tier list is like, bro is like down here. She's up here. She's up here too. Yeah, I think this tier list is just wrong.
Away with this, can he? In 2.0, the arrival of Calcharo, and even further boosts for Camille's damage, with now a premium
And Chain Li's an S.
sub DPS in the name of Russia. Cappuccino sadly is lingering on bottom of A tier with no specific niches to accomplish.
Dion's an A? Yeah, fuck this list, bro.
Shows that at least Changliao can't do, proving one more time that sometimes it's not power creep that can ruin a character, but the skill ceiling from itself and its peers. And in 2.1, the tier lists are going to change, because from now on, TOA is not the only permanent mode, there is also Whimpering Waves to have account. This will be the reason why these tier lists are different from what you see until now. But did 2.1 Whimpering Waves...
Damn, bro's fucking sweating. He's doing the Calcharo's second basic attack cancel.
Calcharo? Sadly, no, it didn't. Whimpering Waves is the mode that faces hordes of multiple enemies. Certain characters with bigger AoE abilities and range or grouping mechanics perform better in this game mode, while other characters with lower range abilities and bad uptime between rotations fall off. Calcharo and Jian are the perfect examples for this. So did Chupacabra enjoy this new game mode? No, not exactly. Quicksop Changli was the new meta, and she had two better choices to pick, in the names of Changliao and also the newly introduced Brand. But did we get something at least from TOA, you ask? Other than the first cycle's electro damage bonus on liberation damage bonus that helps Changliao more than him? No, not much. And finally, 2.2 marks the final nail on the coffin, due to, for the first time, him getting nothing from TOA. Not to say that he can't make it, other B tier units can be really good on the right hands and enough investment. Take the case of Angkor, that can be a really good DPS, or even Danjin, that is the best 4-star DPS on the game. But sadly, with so much going against him...
I mean, this is the thing. There have been plenty of units that haven't had tower buffs, though, and they're still, like, you know, they're still clearing completely fine, like, all the time. Bro, I'm gonna be real here. I don't think it's like a qualification of, damn, the unit sucks because they're not getting buffed by the tower. No, I think he's just sucked since 1.0. I know bro's like bringing all the receipts and all the glue. I'm gonna be real. I think he just sucks since 1.0. Because this is the thing. He was still not used. He was still considered the worst of the worst, even with so many electro buffs in the first place. You want to know a character that has never gotten... That like barely ever gets buffs in the TOA and has only gotten buffs recently? You guessed it. Jian. Because guess what? You want to know the only time they're releasing an arrow character? The first time they released an arrow character was in 1.0. The second time they released an arrow unit, 2.3. And that's happening in like 2 days. That's the second limited arrow unit that's ever been released in the game. And Jian's just been chilling the entire time. Bro's just been chilling the entire time.
This time, Carlos reaches the low end of B tier, lower than even...
Ah, I see. I see. Ah, they put him back up to S. That's what I'm fucking talking about. Good job, whoever made this tier list. You finally understood the memo.
Yang, due to her team utility in Whimpering Waste. And finally, 2.3. 1 year after launch, did Carlos get some love?
No.
No. Unfortunately, not a single TOA boost once more.
It's not even the TOA boost. The unit's just doo-doo water.
Almost as if Wuthering Waves forgot his existence. And to add salt to injury, due to the arrival of Zani, even Spectre Rover is situationally performing better than Calcharo. It's truly...
I would say Spectre Rover's been good since Phoebe's been out. Yeah, Spectre Rover has been good since Phoebe's been out. Yeah, we gotta go back to 2.1 for Spectre Rover, buddy boy. Go back a bit. Sometimes I feel like half of you need to go, like, jerk off before watching my stream.
Truly a sad reality to live in our current
Like, y'all need some, like, post-nut clarity.
universe. That we get to see Capybara descend from former Grace all the way until the bottom of B tier. Could he get some buffs on the future? Probably. He doesn't technically have a good Brobblade option, properly made for his kit. Only
Hey, just wait for Lupas, bro. Because surely she'll deal Resonance Liberation damage. Surely she'll deal Resonance Liberation damage so that Chang Li has somebody to fucking outro skill to.
statistics in the name of Verdant Summit and Edges of Harvest. But realistically speaking, he isn't gonna get it, unless if Lupus Brobblade can give him some help on the
Okay, he already knows too.
latter half of 2.4, but that is a lot of copium to have. Regardless of his great downfall, Cheeto mains learned to play almost to his maximum potential, making it a fun challenge for any player who wants to achieve the true mastery of the leader of the Ghost Hounds. And to add a funny comparison for how high his skills ceiling is, I discovered that Calcharo, the former exile from Wuthering Waves, is as difficult to master as another specific exiled swordsman from another game. And even that swordsman got gameplay crapped by
Really making a League reference, bro?
another easier to play alternative. Even if our opinions diverge in terms of tier lists, mine has in account TOA and also WeWere, both permanent modes in the endgame. Regardless, comment your thoughts about Calcharo in this video.
Damn, now I want to play some TFT.
What was it like when you started playing the game and you started playing him? And what do you think about his state now? So yeah, if you liked the video, press that like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Do it! Or else Ling Yang Curse will get you on your next 50-50.
I hope bro makes a video on Ling Yang, because I know I certainly am still keeping that dude at level 1.
Hope you had a good time, and goodbye.
Great vid overall. I loved that like little history lesson. I will say, I think he's putting a little bit too much weight into tower buffs specifically, because one thing that I've realized over the course of this game is that if you just have your characters, okay, this is a bad example. If you just have your character at level 90 and like built, they should theoretically be able to clear every single bit of content in the game that just isn't, you know, resistant, right? I should be able to use this dude against any enemy that isn't like arrow resistant. And I will be able to clear on time. I think that's pretty much the case for like any DPS with like, you know, their best in slot or close to their best in slot team in the game. And so it's like putting that much weight into the buffs is, I think, just like not necessarily that accurate, especially for like a 1.0 character that, you know, if you do main him, you've had the time easily to get him to where he needs to be to clear. So yeah, but otherwise, great little history lesson. I think we have confirmed that yes, Calcharo is considered the worst character in the game. Not necessarily because of like his overall strength, but because of like his playability and the fact that nobody is ever going to actually want to take the time and the resets to figure out how to use him properly. And yeah, I would say he's even worse than Ling Yang in that respect, because Ling Yang at the very least, bro, will like work when you want to use him. Calcharo is just like, he just feels broken half the time. Like he feels like you're instead of like wheelchair characters that handicap people can use, you can be a normal person that plays him and you're the one that ends up feeling handicapped while you're using him. So yeah, that's my final take on him. I don't think a year has really changed that much, but it's great to see what a year did to this unit. So with that, let me know what you all think. Peace.